Good morning. Good morning. Praise the Lord. Day 7 of the Proverb cleanse. It's a challenge. I hope you've been living up to the challenge and it's been blessing your soul. Good morning, everybody. I see some people on here. Brother William, Sister Rhonda, Sister Watson, my mama. Good morning. Good morning to you all. I'm excited about today because this is something I'm very passionate about. It's something that I live in every day. And I know you noticed that it said for men only, because this proverb actually addresses men. And often we look in the Proverbs and we see the writer saying, my son, treat wisdom as your sister, or she is this and she is that. And why is that? It's because he's writing to a young man, and young men have an issue with always desiring a woman. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but he knew that what's going to get a young man's attention more than anything, where's his mind at 14, 15, 16, on up into, even the early 20s. And that's a young woman. So a lot of times he addresses a young woman. But before you click off, brothers, I want to tell you something. You may say, well, I'm not married and anything like that, or I'm married and I can do whatever I want until I get married. I'm going to sow my wild oats. Well, this proverb is not addressing married men. This proverb is actually addressing any man who has a dream, any man who wants to be strong, any man who wants to have a future that is a blessing to him and to his children, his children's children. Any man has dreams of a legacy that's powerful and that speaks to his community, his nation. It is for us. And I want to just say up front, every word that you're getting ready to hear, it's not just for you. This is for us as men. And this writer is dropping some heavy weight on us in this proverb. So, and I want to tell you something I experienced firsthand to just get this cranked up. I remember being in a room. It was way high up and, like a condo, looking out over the city. This was down in Atlanta. And this brother was being celebrated. He was being celebrated for all of his accomplishments and music and film and all of this kind of stuff. And, I was just kind of blessed to be in the room and kind of feeling like out of place because I didn't have all of that status. I was just there with a friend. But as I listened to all of the things that people were celebrating in him and all of the things that he accomplished and all the things that he had gained in his life, I started to look. He had no children there. He had no wife. They talked about his children and they talked about his wives. But the thing that was the most consistent in his life was what this proverb is actually warning us about. And that was the strange woman. So here this man was well up into his 50s, but he had no legacy that he could really be proud of other than his accomplishments and music and all of that. But his children, he had children by all of these different women, and he wasn't raising any of them, didn't raise any of them. He had no wife. And for all practical purposes, just looking at his life, it looked like he was just going to be alone in his old age. And it started with these strange women. And so Proverbs 7, I'm just going to read it. I'm not going to actually put the captions up because it's just too much, because it all is relevant. He says, my son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with thee. And I'm reading from the King James Version. Keep my commandments and live, and my law is the apple of thine eye. Bind them upon thy fingers, write them upon the table of thine heart. Say unto wisdom, thou art my sister, and call understanding thy kinswoman. So he's saying, if you're going to be a friend to a woman, let it be wisdom and let it be understanding. Look at them as you would look at a woman that you chasing after. You going mountain high, valley low, all in, trying to make her your friend. Says should be wisdom and understanding. And then he says, keep my laws, that they may keep thee from the strange woman, from the stranger which flattereth with her words. And when he says keep thee, he's saying protect thee. So now all of us know about trying to protect ourselves. Well, he's saying that this woman is dangerous. She will hurt you. Let's look at what he says. He says, for at the window of my house, and he's speaking from the strange woman's perspective, I looked through the casement and beheld among the simple ones. I discerned among the youths a young man void of understanding, passing through the street near her corner. And he went the way to her house. Now, some of us may say, man, I ain't out there like that and da 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 da. Listen, today, the corner is www. You fill in the rest. The corner is on these. I don't have it. Yeah, the corner is on these things. The corner is on the laptops. The corner is on the internet. The corner is on the television. And many of us as men don't realize how we meeting these strange women. It's not just like out on the streets. In the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night. Now, the wisdom in this that I've gained over the years is in the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night. This is not just a time of day, if you want to look at it in a different kind of way. It's that place when the day is over. You're tired. You done worked all day. You've worked hard. You're vulnerable. You're weary of your mind. Add to that, if you don't feel appreciated, you don't feel loved, you have suffered some trauma in your life. And a lot of our trauma as men is we didn't have that strong man who knew how to stand up and teach us the way to keep ourselves protected from the strange woman. As a matter of fact, many of us grew up around men that taught us quite the opposite. Go get that girl, man. Look at her. And all of this other kind of stuff. And where your girlfriend? You only got one. And, all of this kind of stuff, justifying a lot of our behavior, trying to get us to have sex young and just elevating and celebrating the way with a strange woman, not knowing that they were setting us up for total destruction and defeat. Verse 10, he says, and behold, there met him a woman with the attire of an harlot, subtle of heart. Brothers, I'm telling you, it is July. It is hot. And a lot of women are very close to naked. And we see this on the bus. We see this on the train. We see this in the parks. We see it in the mall. We see it in the grocery stores. We definitely see it on TV and music videos. Women are dressing very scantily these days. The modesty is almost gone from a lot of women today. Verse 11, it says, she's loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house. Now is she without, now in the streets, and lieth in wait at every corner. You see this woman. She loud. She ain't minding nobody. She not minding her business. She minding everybody's business but her own. Always in some kind of drama. She's not working on anything in her own life. She has no goals, no dreams. This is an easy way to identify who you are identifying to be your future bride, or how to identify that woman that you need to just stay away from. Verse 13, it says, so she caught him. And who did she catch? Well, let's back up just a little bit. Verse 7, it says, and beheld among the simple ones. I discerned among the youths a young man void of understanding. Now listen to this very carefully, brothers, because I want you to know this is something that I've had to go through a lot of deliverance for. I'm still healing from some of the stuff. We think that when he says youth, a young man void of understanding, let's just clip off the youths and the young, and let's just deal with a man void of understanding. In one of the Proverbs, it says, he that messes with the strange woman don't understand that he is destroying his own soul. A lot of us don't realize as men that our maturity has been stagnated by the lack of a father, stagnated by some of this illicit behavior, stagnated from a lack of support, stagnated by us always doing this foolish stuff. The foolishness was bound up in our hearts and it never really got dealt with. Stagnated by trauma in our lives. Some of us were exposed to or even experienced sex at an age way too young and definitely outside the covenant of a marriage. We were exposed. That's traumatizing, whether we want to accept it or not, brothers. You know, they play it like it's all cool, it's all good. I remember when I was in the 6th, 7th grade, them passing around porn, you know, ripping pages out of a magazine and literally just passing them out like it's candy. That stuff does something to us. It stagnates our level of maturity. It completely distorts our view of a virtuous woman. It gives us an idea about a woman where we actually gravitate towards this strange woman rather than looking for a virtuous woman. A lot of us don't even know what it is, right? And some of us, I know like me, my mama was a virtuous woman. She worked hard. She kept herself in all of my days that she was raising me. And she was good to me. She was merciful. So I have a great example for a woman. But when you get your heart tangled up with all of these strange women and all these strange ideas for a woman, it can even distort your view of your own mama. Look at verse 13. It says, so she caught him and kissed him. With an impudent face said unto him, I have peace offerings with me. This day have I paid my vows. So basically what she's done is she's kissed him. And we can think of a kiss as like a physical touch, but a kiss is just a place of intimacy. And I go back to all this digital engagement that we have access to that brings us into a place of intimacy. And that place of intimacy opens us up to the words of a strange woman. And we don't understand that we need to close that door. I'm not listening to this. I'm not going to be brought into a place of intimacy where I start to open myself up to these words. I have peace offerings with me. This day have I paid my vows. In other words, I don't have any ties to anybody. This is all about you, my love. Listen to what she says. Therefore came I forth to meet you. It's all about you, right? And when you hurt, when you feel rejected, for us married men, think about this. You just had an argument with your wife, or you just feel dissatisfied. Y'all been going through for a long time and all of that. That strange woman gonna come find you. And she'll say, she came diligently to seek your face, and I found you. I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry, with carved works, with fine linen of Egypt. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. Let us solace ourselves with love, for the goodman is not at home. He has gone a long journey. He had taken a bag of money with him and will come home at the day appointed. What she's really not telling them is that, you know, we got all night. It's just going to be us, uninterrupted. It'll be fun, right? With her much, verse 21, with her much fair speech. Remember in one proverb it said, her words are like honey. Her lips are like oil. She caused him to yield. Well, how did he yield? He kept listening. He kept looking. He wasn't paying attention to where his own heart and soul was, right? Verse 22, he goeth straight after her as an ox goeth to the slaughter. Wow. Or as a fool to the correction of the stocks, till a dart strike through his liver, as a bird hasteth to the snare and knoweth not that it is for his life. When I go back to the story of the older gentleman, I wonder, did he know that one day he would be sitting up with all of these people laughing and celebrating him and not even realize that somebody's sitting in the room noticing this man ain't happy. Everybody laughing but him. Everybody smiling but him. And I wondered, did he even realize that? Verse 24, listen to what he says. Hearken unto me now, therefore, O ye children, and attend unto the words of my mouth. Let not thine heart decline to her ways. Go not astray in her paths. I cannot get away from this idea of where these strange women's paths are. They're not just at the mall, brothers. They're not just at the beach and in the mall and hanging out on the block. They're on TV. They're on a screen. And he says, don't incline. Let not your heart lean toward that. You know, brothers, we can look and be like, man, we start comparing our woman or comparing women to women. And we start thinking about, man, I want her, not really even realizing that we are starting to give our heart to the ways of a strange woman. Verse 26, for she hath cast down many. And this is the highlight of what I want to say. She has cast down many wounded, yea, many strong men have been slain by her. Now, y'all know as well as I do, it's a lot of brothers' homes been destroyed. Families been completely destroyed their careers, destroyed their businesses, lost everything. One proverb says, by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread. You don't got nothing out here messing with all these strange women. We cannot afford it, brothers. Verse 27, her house is the way to hell, going down to the chambers of death. And that's where it ends. And he's leaving it right there. He's just saying, these are the facts. And we even know that Solomon himself was warned by God. Solomon, stop messing with all these women, man. They're gonna get into your heart. And by the end of Solomon's life, he was a messed up man. He had just about lost his mind and went insane, messing with all those strange women. Loud, stubborn, whorish, scantily dressed, always trying to entice him. And you think about it, catching us off guard, catching us weak, catching us hurting, catching us in distress. That's that dark night, that dark place that we can be in as men. Well, I want to give you some uplifting words, brother. What we need to do as men, we need to talk about this, number one. We need to be open. We need to be honest. We need to put it out there. We need to stop pretending that we're so strong that a strange woman can't bring us down. He's saying, no, many strong men have been slain by her. I tell the brothers all the time, look, if I know that I'm not trying to eat fried chicken, I'm not getting ready to lock myself in a room with fried chicken. I'm running. I'm getting up out of there. So, brothers, for us to ensure the health of our marriages, if you single, the health and prosperity of your future, you can't mess with these strange women. This is what the writer is saying to us today. So listen, I hope this blesses you. I hope it strengthens you. Drop a note in here. Let me know how this is impacting you. I'm going to pray for you, brothers. Pray for me. Pray for the men around you. And I see some sisters on here. I'm going to encourage you, sisters, pass this along to your sons, to your brothers, to your husband, maybe even to your father. It'll be a blessing to them to know that a strange woman would destroy us. But what we need to do is grab hold of the unchanging hand of God. Let God heal those deficits. Let God comfort us when we need to be comforted. Let God strengthen us when we need to be strengthened. And when we know we weak and tired, go home and go to bed. Don't go to the bar. Don't go hanging out with your buddies and all of this kind of stuff. Look, don't put yourself in that predicament and you won't get caught up. So till tomorrow morning, God bless you. And sisters, trust me, there's a proverb that it addresses just the women. Can't wait to get to it. Stay locked in. We're getting close.